following is a paid program. The opinions expressed are not necessarily those of WNBU and Interbanks Media. Welcome to All Things Money with David Blain, a thoughtful and revealing discussion of actionable ideas and effective strategies to help you through the complex world of investing, taxes, and real estate. Now, with All Things Money, here's David Blain.
Hello and welcome to All Things Money. I'm your host, David Blain. Thank you for joining us today on 94.1 FM WNBU as well as cable TV 10 here in New Bern. We have Bob Register as our engineer. We'd like to thank him today for always producing a great show for us. If you have any comments or questions on the show, feel free to give us a ring. Our phone number is 252-633-0107. You can also email us here at the show, allthingsmoney@dlblain.com. And of course, you can go to our website, www.dlblain.com, big contact us button there. We love to hear from you, comments, questions, topics you'd like to cover. One of the things that we want to talk about today is I'm talking about some things some assumptions maybe when you're looking at your planning, your financial future. We have to make a lot of assumptions about what the world is going to look like. You know, if you're 40 and you're trying to plan for when you're 70, that's a 30-year time frame. Just think about if you were planning in 1950 to 1980 or 1970 to 2000 or 80 to 2010. I mean, a lot can happen in a 30-year time frame. And so when you're doing your planning and looking to the future, whether it be towards something like retirement or whatever your goals may be. Maybe you want to give all your money away, which is certainly a noble goal. There's some assumptions that you have to make, and that's what we want to talk about here a little bit today. So one thing is client lifespans. One of the key inputs to planning for the rest of your life is your lifespan. How many years do you have to plan for? And if we knew that, planning would actually become much easier, but we don't know that. We have people that are 65 and they retire and the next day, they drop dead, unfortunately. You have other people that, we have clients that are approaching 100 years old. I was with someone the other day and they said that their mother had just died, or their grandmother had just died at 101, and their grandfather had lived also to 100. I mean, just amazing. And so here he is, he's about 45, and he's thinking, okay, I've got longevity in my family. Both my parents are healthy and active in their 70s. And he's thinking, my gosh, I've got a plan to live, for 60, 70, 80 more years. And that's true. And one of the things when you're looking at lifespans, so what do we look at? We look at what are called the mortality tables. And the insurance companies and what are called actuaries come up with mortality tables. It's actually been around for a very, very long time. That life insurance is a very ancient concept, believe it or not. I don't know, the sales of it has certainly degenerated over the years, and people make a lot of jokes, but the actual process of life insurance has been around since ancient Rome, and actuaries figuring out lifespans and life expectancies and things like that. It's a very old science, the actuarial tables. Mortality tables would be another way to put it. So when we look at the mortality tables, you look at a mortality table and it says, okay, you're 45, your life expectancy is, I don't know, I'm going to make this up, 75 years old. What that means is that the actuaries have computed that people that are 45 years old today, 50% of them will be alive at age 75. That's what it means. It does not mean, okay, if your life expectancy is 75, you're going to drop dead at 75. This is why it's important to know the definition and what you're looking at. If someone says you have a life expectancy of age 75, what that means is that of all the people that are your age, that are born in the same year as you, half will still be alive at age 75 and half will not be there. Okay, well, just think about all the people that were born at your age. different educational levels, different access to health care, smokers, non-smokers, people that engage in dangerous activity. I used to be in the military. People in the military, there's a lot more danger involved. Someone lives in the inner city. Access to health care, their job. There's so many different variables when looking at that you have to make a qualitative decision. Does that life expectancy matter to you? I would postulate that the majority of the people out listening to or watching this show, your life expectancy is a lot longer than the typical person. As you have increased access to health care, as you have increased education, as you have increased access to resources, your life expectancy becomes higher and higher. So keep that in mind when you're planning and you read some insurance table that says your life expectancy is 75, that may not be applicable to you. So that's a danger that we want people to. I heard the other day they said that the person that's going to live 150 years has been born already. I mean, that's just a mind-boggling thing to think about, that the person that's going to live to be 150 has already been born. So when we're looking at planning for the financial future out a number of years, individually you need to take that into consideration and save like crazy. As a society, it's also something that we're going to have to think about. Someone that's 150, are they contributing economically to society or not? But anyway, we'll stick to the personal finance issues of that today. It means that you're probably going to live a lot longer maybe than you think, and you may want to put away a little bit of extra money. Another thing is the living expenses. Another thing, when you look at a lot of typical retirement projections or living in the future, people say that they have projected expenses growing at an inflation rate that is typically a percentage of what they're spending currently. Now, this also is a very, what I call noisy figure, meaning that it's very individualized. There's a lot of factors that involve that it's very difficult to estimate into the future. There's no one set answer for this, and so sometimes we will project that people's living expenses are going to stay the same. Sometimes they'll go up, sometimes they go down. But as a whole, I think people that you look at, healthcare costs are rising much faster than the rate of inflation, although we saw last year them actually slow down a little bit. It's too early to tell if that's going to be a trend or not, but it certainly happened on a one-year basis. Actually, before I get into the next topic, we're coming up here on our first break. Just to kind of summarize, we're talking about some assumptions that people use in their retirement planning, and we'll pick up with that topic when we return after our first break.